Hey, what's up, y'all? I know y'all know how the holidays were recent and all that, kind of recent. And, well, I celebrate Kwanzaa, and every day, for every principle, I did a little reflection where I would write what I thought about that principle and how I feel we should express that principle. And so, just like I did with the New Year's video, just before this one, with the long old jank that I wrote, I figured that I would do the same with all 7 of my little reflections and all that. And, you know, maybe just share something, you know. And so, yeah, gonna start. Happy Kwanzaa, Habari Gani, Umoja, unity. Nothing can do what us for our unity can do for us. Quote the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Alright, here's my reflection. Unity is the first step in uplifting a nation. When many people become one and move as one, that's unity. When we assist and help elevate each other, each one teach one, that's unity. When we work collectively for a positive outcome, that's unity. When you have one stick, you can snap it easily, but when you hold a group of sticks together, try snapping that joint. That's why it's called sticking together. That's Umoja, unity. Happy Kwanzaa, Habari Gani, Kujichagulia, self-determination. Who taught you to hate the color of your skin? Who taught you to hate the texture of your hair? Who taught you to hate the shape of your nose and the shape of your lips? Who taught you to hate yourself from the top of your head to the soles of your feet? Who taught you to hate your own kind? Who taught you to hate the race that you belong to so much that you don't want to be around each other? No, before you come asking Mr. Muhammad, does he teach hate, you should ask yourself, who taught you to hate being what God made you? Quote Malcolm X. Who are you? You don't know. Don't tell me Negro, that's not it. What were you before the white man named you a Negro? And where were you? And what did you have? What was yours? What language did you speak? What was your name? Couldn't have been Smith or Jones or Bunch or Powell. That wasn't your name. They don't have those kinds of names where you and I come from. No, what was your name? And why don't you know what your name was then? Where did it go? Where did you lose it? Who took it? And how did they take it? What tongue did you speak? How did the man take your tongue? Where is your history? How did the man wipe out your history? How did the man do to what did the man do to make you so as dumb as you are right now? Another quote from Malcolm X. What makes the so-called Negro unable to stand on his own 2 feet? He has no self-confidence. He has no proud confidence in his own people because the white man destroyed your and my past, destroyed our knowledge of our culture, and by having destroyed it, now we don't know we have any achievements, any accomplishments. And as long as you can be convinced you never did anything, you can never do anything. This is why the white man, his little children, he tells them about George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, all these white heroes, but we were never taught about any black heroes. Quote another quote from Malcolm X. And here's where my reflection begins at. It's been written in stone since the very beginning. Know thyself. When over 20 million Africans were sold from their homelands and brought to the New World countries to be made slaves, they were stripped of their names, languages, cultures, history, and the knowledge of themselves. With all of that taken away, it left a deep void that was filled over the centuries with self-hatred and the worst inferiority complex to ever plague the earth. The white man's religion he forced upon us, Christianity, as taught by the white slave masters, told the slaves and the children of the slaves to worship a white God, a white Jesus, and to wait until they died to get a piece of pie in the sky, heaven. They were told that they were cursed with black skin because of the prophecy of the children of Ham and put anything of lighter skin tone above themselves. The Africans took on this inferiority complex and these religious ideas and held them tight. As a result, we begin to express hatred for self and kind. Today, many of us still have this. However, by learning about who you are, where you come from, and your rich history as the makers, owners, cream of the planet Earth, and gods and queens of the universe, we can destroy this black inferiority complex. Erase the lies that have been etched in your brain of your ancestors and your brain. We have always been here, will always be here, and have a past like no other people on this planet as the builders of great civilizations, founders of sciences, mathematics, arts, medicines, and professions, creators of technology, and writers of great literature, both in prehistoric times, antiquity, and contemporarily. This should not make you feel that you're better than anyone strictly because of your race, but should give you the knowledge you need to obtain the power to get up, get out, and get something, therefore creating equality between all men. We call this Kujichagulia, self-determination. Happy Kwanzaa, Habari Gani, Ujima, collective work and responsibility. In all things that are purely social, we can be as separate as the fingers, yet one as the hand in all things essential to mutual progress. Quote from Booker T. Washington. It seems that the more time we spend in America, the more attracted and hooked to capitalist and consumerist ideologies we become. Our mindset has changed to a more individualistic one. Not in a free and expressive fashion, which is good, but in the sense of rapidly becoming disconnected from our communities. Many of our people who find themselves trapped in impoverished slums who get out almost never look back at the place they came from to help improve it so that the children who come after them don't have to go through the same suffering that they may have gone through themselves. Struggles that these children may not come out on top of. It's found in most, if not all, original or indigenous cultures worldwide. A key aspect of these communities is that the people in it take care of each other. You won't find too many times in a village that the inhabitants are harming each other in the pursuit of profit or self-benefit. They all have jobs that keep the community alive and going. All of them are important. They work towards improving their community constantly and treat one another like the family that they truly are. Some of us have lost this and have become savage in our pursuit of material items, profit, and other forms of self-benefit and excessive luxury. It's fine to want nice things, want to be an individual, but you shouldn't disregard those in the position you were in. You should want to assist. You should feel obligated to assist, especially if what you did in the first place to escape the situation was savagely approached or done. We don't seem to work collectively or take responsibility not only for our own action, but how these actions affect the community as a whole. Each one teach one. It takes a village to raise a child. These quotations loosely illustrate what it means to be a family that helps elevate each other, where they are from, and how they live. This is truly Ujima, collective work and responsibility. Happy Kwanzaa, Habari Gani, Ujamaa, cooperative economics. We need scientists, we need engineers, technicians of all sorts, all kinds. In this today, people, if you are a student, you should study that course. That will prepare you to build a nation for yourself. You scholars should get away from that slave ideal of trying to dealt your wisdom, your learning to the white man who has brought you here. It is the white people who have educated you, and now with your education, that is value to create a nation, putting them on the foot of level of self-independence. This is what you should be studying. How to liberate your people from the enslavement of the white race. Quote the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Question: what is economics? Economics is a science dealing in the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. Another question: what is cooperative economics? Cooperative economics is a science dealing in the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services among specific business partners or within one's own community. Cooperative economics is becoming financially stable as a nation by establishing independently black businesses that work together and give back to the communities we live in. People within the community with similar talents, knowledge, and common goals should unite and organize to start these businesses. In this political economic philosophy, essentially, we are all our own bosses and employ our own people. From scientists to doctors, lawyers to blacksmiths to architects to builders to artists to teachers and more. All of them play a role in the nation's development. Cooperative economics is spending money or trading things of value via these businesses within our own communities. One may wonder why the overall majority of Chinese and Jewish communities do so well financially and business-wise. It's because they keep money in their own community and support their own establishments. As black people, we can do this as well. I've recently been told that true economics extends beyond financial and money-related things, but also extends to spending time, energy, and more with others, especially when applied to any nation's real wealth, the children. The next generation will be the next leaders, so the adults must invest in their minds and spirits through education and personal levels of teaching, not just from the parents of the child specifically, but the community at large, as spoke of in the principle of cooperative work and responsibility. It goes hand in hand with cooperative economics, unity, and self-determination, as well as all the other principles of Kwanzaa. This will keep the nation growing forever, as our nation was intended to be here forever. This is Ujama, cooperative economics. Happy Kwanzaa, habari gani, nia, purpose. If a man hasn't discovered something he will die for, he isn't fit to live. Quote Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. What's the meaning of life? What am I here for? What's my purpose? These questions are one that every person must ask themselves at some point in their life. It's an expression of the deepest concerns of any human, the yearning to be something, to be needed by others, to make a difference or have an impact. As original people, we're often confronted with these issues that make us face these questions very early on. We pose often two initial riddles. What is your individual purpose, and what is our collective purpose? When one has knowledge of self, kind, and history, our collective purpose is quite clear: to build infinitely. As the fathers and mothers of civilization and the rest of the human race, we've always developed and/or discovered the many sciences of the world and universe. We gave birth to science, mathematics, art, technology, machinery, and much, much more. We see that humans do this today as much as we did since the beginning of life on this physical plane. What was and is the purpose of this? It was and is to be fulfilled and content with our short cycle on this planet, to not just exist but to live. What is it that humans seek? When a person has acquired and continues their search for knowledge, wisdom, understanding, has as a community achieved freedom, justice, and equality, has sufficient clothing and shelter, then what else is there left to be needed? The last things left are love, peace, and happiness. These three elements from what we call our purpose as a community, these three elements form what we call our purpose. As a community, love, peace, and happiness is a result of having the necessities, the absence of chaos, and the infinite journey for self and God in the world. Apply this to individual purpose. What are you good at? What do you love to do? What brings you peace of mind? What makes you happy? When you uncover this, propose the question, how can this be used for the common good and collectiveness of man? When you have this form of self-affirmation, you will gain ambition and therefore live. Purpose is what keeps the people going and keeps the world spinning. It gives the universe order. Purpose is the reason why I believe we will be here forever, why we will never leave, because we were put here to be and do something, to elevate continuously with the goal of perfection, which we will always aim for. Every day you should put time and energy into developing what you believe your purpose is. And if you still don't know your purpose, do not fret. It might be your first time here on this physical realm. It might come to you. No, it will come to you. Never give up hope. Take it to heart. A new life can start for us and those who follow, otherwise our existence is hollow. One day your life will flash before your eyes. Make sure it's something worth watching. When you live like you'll die today, but dream like you'll live forever, you've achieved nia, purpose. Happy Kwanzaa, habari gani, Kuumba, creativity. The question is not whether we will be extremists, but what kind of extremists we will be. The nation and the world are in dire need of creative extremists. Quote Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. One should have creativity in all things they do and approach. It's this aspect of you that makes you a creator, what gives you a legacy, makes you last forever. Your creativity is what makes a way where others see no way. We have always had this quality in solving or improving problems from the beginning as the very creators of society, to slavery as we dealt with the rough conditions and circumstances we were faced with, to Jim Crow as we thought of ways to break down barriers of injustice, to modern days as we express ourselves in new ways. Expression is a form of creativity and shines through the way black people walk, talk, do art, dress, invent, and make something out of nothing. Without creativity, we couldn't have made it through when times were grim. We could have never born civilization, and really, there would be nothing. A world without creativity is desolate and hollow within its existence. Apply your creativity to every situation you find yourself, your people, and the human race in. Find ways to solve the problem by thinking outside of the box, and don't be afraid to fail because you can learn from your mistakes. Express yourself without regret, Live your life without worrying about being judged for being a unique you or universe. Our creativity is what can save us. This is Kuumba, creativity. Happy Kwanzaa, Habari Gani, Imani, faith. We called on a God that you said was the right one for a long time. For 100 years we have been calling on your God and the Son, both. I'm sure today that God and His Son that you are presenting to us have been for white people. Surely they were not friends of ours. He never heard us. He must have been off somewhere in conversation over your future and did not have time to hear our prayers. But Allah hears, Allah asks. Never anymore will you fool us to bow and pray to a dead Jesus any more than Moses or any other dead prophets, and hope that my people believe that there is a Jesus killed and buried but still receiving their prayers. I hope that you wake up and know that they haven't been heard since the day he was killed. Those who represent that Jesus to you, do not wait for Jesus to answer their prayers. They answer their own prayers. Get off that kind of stuff. Quote the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Faith. Faith is a broad topic. Everyone has faith in something. A God or religion, themselves, people. How do we determine what exactly to define faith as in the context of the 7 principles of Kwanzaa? I see it as having faith in oneself, their people, a future of progress, and if they have a form of spiritual belief, then their connection with the infinite universal creator. Whatever you call that, and in whatever way you see that, and even if you don't have a belief in a type of deity, that they hold faith in the spiritual connection to others. I think faith should translate into action in real world work rather than rhetoric. If you really have faith in people in progress, what are you doing to push that agenda forward and improve people? If you really have faith in the form of God, what are you doing to get closer to that God, whether or not you believe in a God far off or within you? If you really have faith in yourself, what's stopping you from doing these things mentioned above? Faith is powerful, but it's nothing without action. Develop whatever faith you hold through action and knowledge to show and prove your faith. If you really have faith in what you believe, put it to the test and see if your faith stays the same. That is true Imani, faith. And now I want to say something to everybody who celebrates Kwanzaa, the Afrocentrists, the radicals, revolutionaries, whatever, or just regular black folk, whatever you call yourself. You know what I'm saying? All of us who are celebrating or have celebrated should strive to live these principles every day. Otherwise, they don't mean anything. You know? I mean, you can be talking about cooperative economics, then go blow your money in the white man's store all day, every day. You know? You can be talking about Umoja and not trying to unite with, like, the people that's around you. You know? So, you know what I'm saying? Apply all 7 of those principles every day, all day, every year. You know what I'm saying? Don't just wait till Kwanzaa to, like, or that day of that principle to try and express that principle, because otherwise there's no point in celebrating. There ain't no point. Alright? The whole point of the holiday, or for the celebration, or whatever you want to call it, is for us to try and apply these principles to our everyday life and have something at the end of the year to sort of bring closure to that year and start off the next year on a good note. So what you gotta do is apply it to real world situations. Otherwise, like I said, it don't mean nothing. Alright? Happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, even if it is a pagan holiday. Happy Hanukkah, whatever you celebrated during December or whatever. And yeah, I know it's January now, so Happy New Year too. Alright, peace.